Welcome back, everybody, to the daily show where I'll be breaking down the big mega cap stocks. So, before we get started, please hit that like button, and that is greatly appreciated. And if you're new here, definitely consider subscribing. Now, if you're really serious about trading and you want to support the channel and get live trading, daily trade ideas, swing trade ideas, all kinds of long term and short term setups, definitely check out my link down below in the description for Patreon. And now let's get right into the market. All right, so Merry Christmas to all of you guys out there celebrating with friends and family, and I wish you a great time on this big holiday. Now, what market did on Wednesday while closing at a record high, S&P Dow was up 0.60%, Nasdaq up 0.22%, S&P up 0.32%, Russell was slightly up on the day. 11 sectors that makes up S&P 500, real estate led the way on top for the day, consumer defensive, utilities, healthcare, financial communication services. Week to date, you can see also technology led the way, communication services, basic materials, industrials, financial, consumer cyclical, healthcare, pretty much everything in the green except consumer defensive. Stock market map pretty flat on Wednesday. Nvidia flat. You can see Google flat, Amazon flat, Tesla flat. It's pretty much a flat day except a few names like Amy was up nearly 4%, and then you got Costco up 2% for the day. Fear and greed index. We're back on greed with VIX down to 13 bucks, and that's why we need to talk about it. And especially we're gonna get started with Nvidia stock today. So Nvidia stock was up on Wednesday 0.32%. At one point it was down, I think, over 1%, but again, with this big holiday, market will not stay down, and especially a big name like Nvidia, it's not going to go down that much. We have gap up and go twice here, and we called it before that Nvidia joins the party, you're going to see market moving higher. But I think now we got to be really careful going into especially next week, and then right after that it's going to be 2026, and that's where we got to be careful because things are not looking good, especially when it comes to volatility, which is actually just dead right now. So Nvidia stock going into next week, well, if you look at my screen, we did not even retest the 50-day moving average since we got up to that new high here on Tuesday and even on Wednesday's session. So we can go to 190, that's possible, but what if we get some sort of a pullback down to the 50-day? Watch out for the support to hold. It's around 186. I'll just make things even, 186 right here. But below that, we could be going down and retesting this key support, which was a resistance right here, 184. And if it comes under that level, we might be even filling this gap, and that would be an opportunity for a lot of people that missed out when we called it out, this wedge type of pattern here on Nvidia right here at 181. But if this thing crosses over 190, it's definitely heading higher up to 196 and even higher from there. But I think a pullback is due before heading higher. That would make more sense, and a lot of people will get in if we get one here on Nvidia stock. On Apple stock, it's up 0.53%. So Apple was fantastic. And this was one of the trade idea that I took myself. And I did share it with a few people that were actually live. This week, it's been really slow. Everybody is spending time with friends and family. And this was live that I took right here at 270, 275 calls, only 1 week out, which is next week, next Friday. Already sold out for profit because it went actually in the money. I caught this $5 move to the upside. You can see Wednesday at 275, and I got out right there at 275 with my profit. And then we saw a bit of a pullback. But Apple here, if you look at my screen, this thing might be breaking out, guys. I mean, if this thing stays over that 272 right here, we could be going up to 277 and possibly even higher. Now you saw that we got some sort of a rejection there on Wednesday session, even though we got up over 275. So if this thing comes back and takes out 272, we could be coming back down to 270 and maybe even 268 and then 264 to close the gap down here. On Microsoft is up 0.24%, so pretty flat day. But one thing I want to point out, we could be just bull flagging here, a tiny bull flag that is forming. And if this is going to play out, Microsoft needs to remain over this 20-day moving average, which is at 484 almost, and just underneath that we have support at 480. So these two levels has to hold. And if this thing gets over that 492, this key zone right here, 492, we could be heading higher into 495 and maybe even 500 and then 504.91 to close this gap right up here. On Amazon stock, it's slightly up on the day, pretty flat. And if you look at my screen, we got really close to the gap that I called it out a few days ago that we got some calls on Amazon, and now I'm targeting this gap, and we took profit on this play. I don't have any more because we got really close to it. We took profit, we got out, and now it's trading at 232.38 on Wednesday. So going into tomorrow, Friday, watch out if this thing pulls back into these moving averages right here, which would be 230 to, I would say, 229. This is going to be key zone to hold. As long as we're above that, we could be going up and filling this gap 233.55. And over that, watch out for a move up to 236. Now, something happens. This thing comes back after filling the gap and breaks below 230 and 229. We could be heading lower again, all the way down to 223.9 and then even 221.26, lower Bollinger Band, and then 215 all the way down here. On Meta, it's up 0.39%. So Meta again was up close to 670. But what's good here that we did close over 664 finally. And if that holds, definitely we could see a move up to 682. And from there, this gap will come into play. Now, 664 to right here at 658. These are going to be crucial levels come tomorrow and into next week, because if this thing goes under these moving averages, we could be heading lower down to 638, and from there it can go much, much lower. On AMD, it's also flat for the day, but if you look at my screen, it's just over that 20-day moving average, which is sitting at 214.45. So as long as we remain over these two moving averages down to the even 212, 214 to 212 right here, you can see these two moving averages are sitting right there. So AMD will have support right below that 214 range, also at 212 because of this 5-day going up now. As long as we remain over that level, we could be heading up to that 226. But if this thing breaks down again, then watch out for a move below that 214 to 212. It'll come down to 203, and from there it can go much, much lower. And I'm talking about taking out this low and possibly heading down to this gap at some point. On Google stock, it's absolutely flat on Wednesday, but this thing came under and pretty much was under that 314 mark all day. But at the end, somehow, getting a squeeze over that range, 314. So that is looking a little bit bullish here on Google for possibly a move up to these highs right here around 322, maybe even 328. Now, if this thing gets under 314, there will be support from this 5-day moving average, which is at 311. Then we also have support right down here around 309, all the way down to 303, and then flat 300. On Tesla stock also was flat, but if you look at my screen, this uptrend that's been holding for past 1 month, we actually cracked below this uptrend, but then bulls were able to push it back up to 485. So Tesla here, guys. One thing about Tesla, retail traders, investors, we only know how to trade Tesla and Nvidia. I have noticed that over and over. If you call out that, hey, I'm buying Nike or CMG or even Costco, nobody gives a crap because it's not Tesla, it's not Nvidia, it's not Meta. Why would I buy it? But Tesla, let's say it's trading at 500 and you call it out and say, hey, I'm buying Tesla, it's going to 520. Nobody's going to look at the chart. Nobody's going to do anything. They're just going to jump in because it's Tesla. And that is where people lose lots of money, guys. So, Tesla chasers, definitely, this is not a good spot to be chasing on Tesla near 500. Yes, it's bullish. I'm not denying. But also keep that in mind. When Tesla goes up like this in a straight line, it can come down rapidly. And a quick example, like look at right here from 474, it came down to where? Just this example. I'm not even going back. So Tesla here, yes, it's bullish, it's holding this trend line. As long as we remain over that 480 485 zone, we could be hitting 500 and even possibly a little bit higher from there. But as of right now, I would think if Tesla gets some sort of a pullback, maybe a fake move to the downside, to catch a lot of bears off guard, like, oh, okay, it's breaking down, and it comes down, close the gap here at 463, maybe even hold this support. You can see many rejection here. That would be fantastic to play this back up to the upside, but only if the support holds gap fill reversal right here on Tesla. Otherwise, there is no play here on Tesla unless you're really good at chasing here. On Broadcom, it's up 0.26%. So quickly, guys, I have edited this stock because a lot of you guys trade Broadcom. It's a big name that actually moves the market, but I could be taking it out because likewise, and especially when it comes to subscribing and commenting, people are there watching day after day, but just not gonna hit that like button, just not gonna hit that subscribe button. Now, I'm not no Mr. Beast that actually doing these videos and making millions of dollars. I'm not Mr. Beast. I'm not asking for that. I'm not putting out these videos to make money off of YouTube. That's not gonna happen here. Unless, I get 3, 5, 6 million subscribers. It's a total different story, right? All I'm doing is sharing my experience with you guys that I have with the market for past 25 years now. So that's all I'm doing. In return, I'm not asking for donation. If you guys can hit some likes, and if you're just watching pretty much every day, definitely, go for that subscribe button as well because that really helps. Otherwise, these videos are not paying me for anything. The only thing that actually pays or even sponsors these videos are the Patreon group that are actually serious about trading, people that are seriously trading and making money with me. Those are the real sponsors of these videos. Anything else? Definitely not there. I want to continue to, cover 10 names, including Broadcom. But, for what? The videos are getting longer. People don't appreciate, people don't support it. They watch it, they like it, they're just not gonna go and support it, right? So it just hurts the channel, and especially when it comes to making videos, it just hurts, guys. So I would really appreciate, I want to continue that way, but I need some support from you guys, especially when it comes to hitting the like button, commenting, subscribing, and even sharing the videos. That would really help because these videos are not coming out for money. Now, Broadcom, you can see it actually got up to that level. We passed 350 on Wednesday, and it might be going to that 356 zone, but we got a bear flag on daily chart. So if this thing comes down, watch out for that 330 area, maybe 324. But so far, guys, I mean, this was the high volume we saw, and since then, it just going up with some low volume. So we will see if this thing can continue because there is a gap right up here. There is a gap below us as well. So we'll see how if this thing can actually hold up and possibly shoot for that gap on top or comes down because this is clearly a bear flag, and if this plays out, we could be filling this gap in near future. So Netflix, you can see this thing is also flat. It actually came down again, and we're trading below 94. So that's not really good for the bulls. And we did hit that critical support the other day, then went back up with some high volume on it. But look at this, guys. We need to get over that 94, and especially if this thing is going to move. Next month is the month. They have earnings as well. And if this thing is going to move to the upside, we need to get over not only 94, this key zone 97. If that happens, it might be going into 100 and possibly even higher. We're trading like 14, 15 bucks away from daily 200 SMA. So even if this thing is going for that retracement back up to 200 SMA, we could be making money on Netflix, especially if you're going long term. And that's all I have for you guys. And again, a very happy Merry Christmas to all of you guys. And I hope you enjoy your time with your friends and family. And I'll see you guys tomorrow night.